What is going on? I am continuing the series of the NBA draft best team fits for this summer's 2022 NBA draft, and now up is the New York Knicks. Go New York, go New York, go! Heading into the lottery, it looks very likely that the Knicks will be drafting outside of the top 10 and probably in that 11 or 12 spot. Before I give you all my Knicks draft board, I want to say that any of those three top 10 elite potential scoring wings in AJ Griffin, Benedict Mathurin, and Shaedon Sharpe, if they fall to the Knicks outside the top 10, the Knicks are going to sprint to the podium to submit their ticket and get one of those guys. I think it's highly unlikely in a situation we're most likely not going to have to worry about, but something to think about. The Knicks' biggest need for, I'd say, a couple of years now has been lead guard. They've been playing Alec Burks at point guard more than anybody else this year. They obviously need a point guard. Derrick Rose almost won Sixth Man of the Year last year, and even when he is healthy, he hasn't been healthy this year. I think he's best as the veteran rotation guy to mix in with 2 or 3 younger guards and offer a good role. And I love Emmanuel quickly. I actually think he's going to take a really, really big leap next year, and I think he's really developed his playmaking skills, especially throughout the second half of the season, because they really haven't had a lead guard to go to, so he has played a lot of that point when he has that opportunity. That being said, I still think that IQ is better off as a combo guard and more leaning towards a 2 guard, and if they can get a lead guard to pair with him as their young backcourt of the future, I think that would work out really well. And this is where Dyson Daniels comes in. I think he's the number 1 prospect for the Knicks, and I think he should be that way. He is a big Aussie guard out of G League Ignite. Apparently, he measured in at 6'8", but he is a true lead guard. He's a crafty playmaker. He's not the best outside shooter and shot creator, but he can still score. He loves getting in the lane, and he has a really strong floater game, which I think is a very underrated part of NBA guards. Not only offensively does he offer what the Knicks need in a lead guard, but defensively, he's a very, very good perimeter defender. He's long and athletic, and I think he offers what the Knicks want, and especially what Tibbs wants on both ends of the floor, so I think it makes a lot of sense. Now, my fear is that he gets taken before the Knicks. The Wizards are probably going to draft right before them, and I think Dyson Daniels is going to be a guy that is probably high, maybe number 1 on the Wizards board as well, because they need a playmaker like that, and they also love the international guys. Another potential lead guard the Knicks could consider at this draft position is TaiTae Washington out of Kentucky. Now, I don't think TaiTae is looked at as a true lead guard playmaker type of guy because he had Severe Wheeler on his team next to him at Kentucky, so I don't think he was really given the most opportunity to showcase his true lead guard potential in college. That being said, I do think he's a very underrated playmaker, and he can run an offense at the next level. He does have combo guard level skills. He's a really good outside shooter. He's fast, loves to get in the lane. He has a really strong floater game, a little bit like Emmanuel quickly, but I do think IQ leans more the 2 guard way, and TaiTae leans more the 1 guard way. This might be a little too high for some people to get TaiTae at the 11 or 12 spot, but I do think he's a pretty safe lottery guy. He has some struggles throughout the year, but I wouldn't be too worried. He's also someone who I think is going to really, really excel in the draft process and combine, so I wouldn't be surprised if the Knicks took him here at all. A non-guard option that I would slot in between both of those guys on the Knicks draft board is Jeremy Sohan. People have heard me talk about him in ample opportunity. The guy is awesome. He is the Swiss Army knife and defensive anchor and super versatile guy that the Knicks would fall in love with right away. Sohan does have a pretty good level of playmaking and vision to him, very much like Draymond in this unorthodox type of manner, but I think he's someone like Scottie Barnes who's going to impact winning on day 1 and could also rise up the draft boards and get taken higher than people expect and have people questioning him, but when he steps into the league, he's going to be awesome. Beyond those 3 prospects, there are a pair of 2 guards that I think the Knicks are definitely going to consider up till draft night, and they're going to be involved with heavily in the draft process. Johnny Davis showed off how polished of a scorer he can be in his breakout season this year at Wisconsin. His efficiency levels aren't super high because he was at such incredible volume at Wisconsin on a pretty non-deep team. He's got really solid footwork and scoring ability. I think he has a pretty high floor, but maybe a lower ceiling than some other guys. But I think he's a safe pick. You know what you're going to get out of him, and he's going to be a good scorer on the next level and something the Knicks could definitely use in their backcourt. And the other 2 guard I would want the Knicks to consider on draft night is Jaden Hardy. I think opposite of Johnny Davis, he has probably a lower floor but a much higher ceiling in my opinion. I think if things go the right way, similar to how we viewed Jalen Green last year but not on the same level maybe, he could be an all-NBA level scorer one day. When you look at the shooting splits for Jaden Hardy in the G League, they're not great, especially in the first half of the season, but he was adapting and changing from a high school court and game to an NBA level court and length of court, especially. The dimensions are so different on the G League compared to college and also definitely high school. So I think it definitely took time for him to get used to how to manage in a faster pace and an extended offense. But I think he's really grown into that throughout the season, and I think he's going to be fine in the NBA. And I mentioned Jalen Green before, who also came out of the G League Ignite. And like Jalen Green, I think Hardy in his rookie year, no matter where he is, will definitely have a lot of bad games where he has really bad shooting splits and efficiency numbers, but he's going to have really explosive scoring nights, and I think he's going to draw a lot of excitement, and he's going to be a better long-term player than people expect. There's a lot of mixed opinions on Hardy on where he's going to go in the draft. I I think he is a borderline lottery guy if he's not already. Some people think he's going to be a late first-round pick and he's in the 20s, closer to 30s. Some people think he's basically a top 10 guy. I think it goes all the way around, and I think the G League guys usually do relatively well when they're in the higher end of the spectrum like this. So I think he's going to end up being close to the lottery, if not in the lottery. So that leaves my Knicks big board for draft night at Dyson Daniels at 1, Jeremy Sohan and TaiTae Washington at 2 and 3, and then Johnny Davis and Jaden Hardy at 4 and 5. But honestly, I think those two guys could be interchangeable. The Knicks might want scoring impact on day one, so I'd probably go with Johnny that way, but I could go either way. I think if I had to put money on it right now, I'd say that TaiTae is going to be the pick because I think Dyson Daniels is going to go in the top 10 and go probably right before the Knicks to the Wizards. But Dyson Daniels would be the perfect fit here, so I think that's a pretty good dream scenario for the Knicks to really round out their roster well. As always, appreciate you guys for watching and supporting. Do not forget to like and subscribe if you haven't already. You don't want to miss out on any of this draft content and college basketball content throughout the summer. Make sure to drop a comment of what team you want to see next in this NBA Draft Best Team Fit series. Appreciate y'all for watching again. Hope you have a great week. Peace.